Welcome to the post 2026 NFL draft episode of the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin Network. Thank you so much for staying with us through the entire offseason. Now I guess it still is offseason, but things are getting going. The players have been drafted. They're flying out to their teams. They're doing these interviews. We're learning a lot about what they're expected to do, what positions they're going to play. So whether it be Sisi Mauigoa, Spencer Fano, Makai Lemon, or our favorite teams, the Raiders, the Chargers,
I knew
we're
your
also
team
going to
was.
go with.
That is your favorite team, huh? I knew it.
I'm starting with the Raiders because chronologically they got the first pick,
No,
which we know is given to the worst team in the league
you
after the.
guys heard it here. Lance said that's his favorite team.
It's our favorite teams, the Raiders and the
Exactly.
Chargers. The Raiders picked first in the 2026 NFL draft. We're going to go down the list. We're not going to go through every pick of the first round, or we're going to go through the first 33rd, the most important players that were drafted. That's going to start with the Raiders, Fernando Mendoza.
And then we're going to stop there.
And Forrest thinks that should be the end of the important
Done.
draft picks that we talk about, because
That's it.
what more is choosing your franchise quarterback?
Yeah.
Get ready for the future. I'm going to try to also fit in some other players: Spencer Fano, Sisi Mauigoa, Ty Simpson. The Rams got a new quarterback. What's going on there? Makai Lemon, as the Eagles jump the Steelers. We're going to get the Chargers pick in there, as well as Caleb Lomu to the Patriots, and Deshaun Stribling to start day two. Went 33rd to the Niners. So we got all our teams in here, right? The Chargers, the Raiders, the Niners, the Rams. We got all sorts of different, whether it be our teams or Pacific Islander NFL draft picks. So that is what we are going. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about, at least 12 specific draft picks, and what not only their expectations are, maybe a little bit of fantasy evaluation that's going on. How can these offensive linemen expect to improve their offensive skill positions? So we'll get into that for these guys. And we thank you very much for tuning in to the Ballinesian Podcast. We are Samoans Talking Sports. Coach Forrest and I, every week, going to be coming with the latest in Pacific Islander athletic excellence, sports, things that are going on, and as well as covering always the Chargers and the Raiders are, our NFL teams. All right. We are here on the Polytickin Network. You know that. Make sure you are checking out the Polytickin Podcast with Oh Hello Marcus and his co-host, Sefa M.
I don't think Steph is going to like that.
What? He doesn't listen to this. He's not gonna know. And then also make sure you are following us on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching our faces as we talk, or just putting us in the background of your office or as you're doing chores, whatever. Pretty faces and great conversation. What more can you ask for on YouTube? And we try not to cuss, so you can play it in the car too.
Sorry.
But yeah, on YouTube, the Polytickin Network, and you get both of the videos coming from the Ballinesian Podcast and the Polytickin Podcast. So just subscribe, set it, and forget it. You'll get all the videos. They'll be sent directly to you. You'll even get little notifications.
Go listen to Sefa talking, see how passionate he is about donating blood.
Donating. Oh, man. We all got to donate blood.
Yeah.
Was he scared?
It didn't sound like he was scared, but
some people get scared with the needles.
Interesting questions he was asked, so I don't know. So
all right, and also patreon.com/the Polytickin Podcast. $5 or more a month gets you an extra episode every week, and also access to the Patreon chat and the community where you can send us things to talk about on the exclusive Patreon episodes. All right, lots to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's get straight into it. Wait, anything else before we start? Anything
Raiders
crazy?
are the best.
Raiders are the best. That's what we expect to hear from Coach Forrest.
If you guys are watching the NBA playoffs, it's pretty good. It's heating up. We have some teams already dropped.
Yeah.
We have teams that are down 3-1 that shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. Teams that are up 3-1 maybe shouldn't be. Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time. And getting seeing all the LeBron James posts, and seeing him just carry the Lakers single-handedly, bald-headedly, to a 3-1. Just got to win one more game. Game 5 or game 7. I don't know. Which one do you want to win? Pick it. Crypto.com arena. Still want to call it Staples Center. Yeah. So now that the NFL draft is over, you can expect us to be covering more of this end of season, NBA playoffs in the next couple of weeks. But we also got AAPI month next month.
Yes.
Our month with the Asians and the Pacifics.
And the Hawaiians.
Oh yes, AANHPI month. My
Exactly.
apologies. I,
Exactly.
that slipped my mind. Sometimes it's just the four letters, and those four letters can, it's a four-letter acronym. It's actually six. AANHPI.
There
Okay.
you
Um, anything you'd like to do for the month of May to celebrate your NH or PI-ness?
Yeah, just I wish I was bouncing right now. Wish I was still bouncing so I can assert my AA H&P thing while I'm bouncing.
You want to insert your Asian P while you're
Yeah,
bouncing?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm so okay. All right, all right, all right.
You just do all the bouncers right now for AA. The rest of the letters month should just tax people who don't show up with the Polynesian last name month.
Oh, any no, it's gonna get us. You're gonna get the bar suit.
Hey, look, when the Raiders
It's our
lost to
month. What?
Dallas, I'm telling you, I was taxing people that came in. Who is it? Oh, you from Texas? Cheer for the Cowboys? Shit, that's $25.
That's an extra $25. Food. I like to see all the food that people are cooking from different customs and cultures and stuff, and
For
try that.
sure.
You get some Asian food, get some, or like I guess Asian Pacific, no, Asian American. So just
You
whatever
know what I
Asian's here.
love? Is anytime someone's like, "Yeah, man, can't wait to eat Samoan food," and then someone's always like, "Yeah, man, like chop suey."
Sapasui.
But
Wait, that's not? Oh, have we not taken that? We can't have that. That is what Sapsui, Pausami.
see,
What
that's how you
else?
got to say chop suey. But if you're like chop suey, that's definitely not Samoan, guys.
Oh, what is chop suey? Is it like it's not like a
It's
glass noodle?
Asian.
It's a very Asian
It's
specific.
Asian. But yeah, no. Definitely like to see what everybody's eating out there for the month of May.
Mm.
If you're on a cut, sucks for you. Uh,
What the hell?
well, because they're on a cut, they won't be able to eat.
Who's doing a cut? Oh, I'm
I don't
sorry,
know. I'm not trying to watch you eat vegetables.
bro. We need to eat more vegetables, though.
I just say I don't eat veg. Wow, did you
No,
just
no, no.
stereotype me?
I'm saying
I'm, just-
we. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
kidding.
assuming. I'm assuming you and all of us need to have more vegetables than we're getting right now. Just got to figure out how to do that. Make it
Yeah,
lettuce wrapped burgers or something. Just
send
add
us
more
pictures.
lettuce.
Send us pictures of your menu for
Oh my gosh. If you do have an awesome vegetable dish, definitely
it's,
send that to us.
don't send it to me. Send it to him.
Yeah, or your different ANHPI month dishes that you
send
might you
send
might
me
have.
your baking recipes. Don't send me no vegetable recipes.
All right. 2026 NFL draft is in the books. The picks are picked. They're flying out to these places. They're ready to get their NFL career started. Let's go ahead and start from the most important pick
There you
in the
go.
draft.
From the most important team in history.
Whoa, the first pick. The Raiders have been on the clock since the end of the season. Was there ever a time when you thought this pick was not going to be Fernando Mendoza?
Sure, you had to because there's so much holes to fill on a team, obviously, that finished to have the number one pick.
Mhm.
So you just had to think about it. But if you really do follow the Raiders, you also know that they just it kind of looked like maybe they were at like towards the tail end of the season, kind of just were playing for that number one pick. I know a lot of guys weren't like tanking on purpose, but I'm pretty sure the organization kind of saw the writing on
Yeah.
the wall and was like, yeah, well, if we can get that first pick, let's get that first pick. So, but yeah, anytime you get the number one pick and you have a lot of holes to fill on your team, there has to be some kind of idea that maybe you trade down to get more picks or a player and picks or multiple first rounds like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they almost got with Max Crosby, but Ravens were chicken crap. But anyway, Yeah. So of course, in the beginning, you were just really you were unsure what they were going to do. Even though Mendoza had a great college season, he had an okay career. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the best career, but this last season led his
Mhm.
team to the championship. Had the highlights that you wanted to see,
Yep.
driving fourth quarter touchdown. Running it in to win. So yeah, great season, but still lot of areas that the Raiders could have used help with. Um, so the pick was definitely at first you didn't know what they were going to do.
And what is the why behind picking Fernando Mendoza? What do you think the team, after analyzing not only Mendoza but all the other first round pick possibilities, why do you think they settled on taking the quarterback out of Indiana?
They got a new coach in who works well with quarterbacks, as they say. And it just seems like Mendoza has the tools to be that guy. He's been winning since I guess the time he got to Indiana. Was a great quarterback at Cal, of course, before he transferred. Just didn't have the teammates around him to win at Cal. Um, he's there's a lot of, as they say when they have all these draft analysis shows, he's got the intangibles to win. You put him out there, give him the ball, just tell him to go play. Very accurate is the word you're going to hear a lot when you're
Nice.
hearing people talk about Mendoza. Might not have the rocket arm that a lot of quarterbacks that are coming up next year have, but he's super accurate. Pinpoint accuracy is what some people were saying. And that's what they're going to need to get the ball to guys like Brock Bowers, who probably isn't going to be like a 4-4-2 guy, 4-3 guy running down the field, but
Mm.
he's going to be able to get open. You just have to have the quarterback that is going to be able to get him the ball when he's supposed to get the ball.
Uh, Hoosiers win the national championship. Mendoza wins the Heisman Trophy. Scouts Inc. on ESPN also says he has the prototypical size and frame for a starting NFL quarterback. He
That
is
too.
6'4, 236. They got him listed up here. Says he threw 41 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. And he always makes the right
Right
play.
through. Yep.
Routinely makes the smart play, doing a great job of taking care of the ball and limiting turnovers. This is just another lunge into the correct direction for how to make these decisions. And I'd say personally, I think you might have been able to pass on a quarterback this year, right? Like you said, trade down, get a bunch
For
of
sure.
first round draft picks because you have a lot of positions that you want to address as far as for the Raiders roster. But getting a quarterback in here along with first year coach Clint Kubiak to just basically grow together, you're teaching an adult too, right? This isn't just a kid, right? He's
No,
been in the 3 years in Cal and then a year in Indiana.
in Indiana.
Okay, so yeah, so this is an older quarterback, like an adult who you can count on to do the right thing. Like, hey, if this guy is open, throw it here. If not, look over here. If not, just like showing him the progressions of what Clint Kubiak feels his offense, how it should be run, right? From this level to this level, or from this side to this side, or from this read to this read, or this defender to this different, whatever Clint Kubiak's offensive system requires. This is a guy who, while maybe not the Cam Newton athletic ceiling or like the Peyton Manning can do it all. I guess he threw 20 interceptions is, not super cerebral, but just always making the right decision. You could compare that to some quarterbacks who aren't as like sexy. Kirk Cousins, who is now his teammate and guide, into his first season there with the Raiders. Another former Raider, Derek Carr, who is like not lighting the world on fire, but gives you such a high floor and competence that the Raiders were going to the playoffs and stuff like with Derek Carr. So you can build around that. And I think Fernando Mendoza definitely is better than that. But that's just like
Those
a
are okay
great
comparisons. I would probably more compare him to the likes of Matty Ice and Jared Goff. That would probably be,
Matt
yeah.
Ryan.
I think those would probably be a little too better comparisons. Um, as far as his skill set, um, he's also got some wheels on him. He can run. So
I mean, that fourth down touchdown in the national championship game
yeah,
that is college football legendary highlight.
for
Like
sure.
that's going to be around forever. And that's definitely going to be attached to him. He's still a little goofy, still kind of a goofball, which is like I don't know whether to read it as it's too much or it's a little too prepared. So, but
Hey, your
what are you?
quarterback, your quarterback is monotone. What are you talking about? Leave our
He's not
quarterback
goofy
alone.
though. He's not a freaking goofball.
He's a robot.
Yeah, he's a robot. He's not like pretending. So that's the thing with Mendoza. It's like you're going to be the first overall pick, and the only thing that could stop you from being that is if you do something bad, like
He's
yeah.
genuine, and that's another reason the
Mhm.
Raiders probably were able to pick him because off the field, it's not going to give you any issues at the moment. Of course,
And
he
you're in
comes in.
Vegas.
You're a
Yeah.
rebuilding franchise. You want to have
Hmm.
the new face of your franchise be a guy who's a guy you can put out there and in front of the press, and he's not going to do something stupid, say something stupid,
Hmm.
or he's not going to be sorry, my guy, sorry, Ruggs, but it's not going to be on the news most likely halfway into his NFL career, rookie year, and getting into an accident,
Yeah.
and you know, in a car accident because he was drinking out late. Again, this is
That's
early, but that is the projection because it's not; those aren't the things that he's been doing. So
mhm.
he's a little
That's
older,
the
so maybe he can.
projection.
Yeah.
That's the floor though. That's also included in the floor because you look at
Yes.
the Falcons who last year traded for a first round pick away to draft a player who recently got into like I think it was James Pierce, um,
No,
who no
Falcons. Yes.
the Falcons, right?
Yeah. He domestic dispute made it worse by chasing down. Of course, his girlfriend is one of the bigger players in the WNBA, or former girlfriend now, and then crashing into her car. Like
Yeah, so that's and
weirdo.
then not only was that your first round pick, but also you traded the Rams a first round pick for this guy. So you
Yeah.
placed a huge investment in him,
But
and
also
then you might not have him
a
if like
rising defensive star because
yeah,
he had a
yeah,
really
yeah,
good rookie year. So
really good. But if they're doing stuff off the field that keeps them from getting onto the
yeah,
field, keeps them from being on the field, then that is maybe something they could have. I mean, I guess you can't really plan for that. You hope that nothing like that happens. But
right. Because there was
Fernando
no.
Mendoza, I don't see him beating up his girlfriend. I don't see him like getting in
Yeah,
100-mile-an-hour car crash. I don't see him
you
like.
better knock on wood. Don't jinx our guy, man.
No, I'm telling you, I
I'm
don't
just kidding.
see. I don't
I'm
see
kidding.
him like even partying
Yeah,
in the club
yeah,
all night. But if he did, it'd be like kind of like cool. Like, oh yeah, he's just doing that to like relax. He's not doing that to like show off for his
yeah,
Instagram or anything. He's doing that. He's just going out because his best friend's bachelor party decided to be in Vegas or something.
for sure.
Um, so I like that the Raiders get a competent adult quarterback, and looking forward to what he can do. I think he might take the first year off, according to some reports. But what are your expectations of this first year of Fernando Mendoza and his career for the Raiders?
Oh, easy. Rookie of the year this year, possibly the MVP in the same year, a Super Bowl MVP too, probably, and a Super Bowl win. So easy, nothing big.
Just the number one overall pick to go national championship, Super Bowl MVP the
Nah,
year
if
after.
I do expect him to compete for the starting job. Kirk Cousins is still a very serviceable starter in the league. Of course, like you said, he's not a star. He's not gonna like go out there
Yeah.
and yeah. Well, he has games where he has like put up big numbers, but yeah, if he does end up sitting for the whole year, that's fine because he gets to sit, learn behind a great quarterback to learn from, and he doesn't have the pressure of going in there and trying to save the franchise right away. Even though that's kind of
That's
what's
the
sitting on his
expectation
shoulders right
though,
now.
long
Right.
term, yeah.
Yeah. The expectation is long term. It's not win now for him at the moment. But if he does go into minicamp and he's the better quarterback, then I definitely expect him to play because why wouldn't you put out the best player out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there should be some growing pains, but also the Raiders didn't trade the pick away because they filled a lot of the holes that they thought were going to be a problem.
Oh, in free
So,
agency. Yeah.
right, uh, they got Linderbaum at center.
Yeah.
They're making moves at guard right now. Guys that who did they sign? I forgot who else they signed, but uh
They signed linebackers. They signed DNs.
so
They
yeah,
signed cornerbacks.
defense.
They traded for cornerbacks.
Well, I was just talking about the old line, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
defense is secure now with all of those signings as well. So I think the one maybe signing they could kind of push for is Jawan Jennings, just because he would be probably he's probably the best free agent left, but also the best receiver to be a number one right now that you could probably acquire without having to trade again.
Hmm.
So yeah, a lot of moves were made in the draft. I mean, they also ended up trading their first round draft pick from a few years ago, Tyree Wilson. So he's also gone from the team
For a fifth.
for a fifth. I mean, just wasn't working out. I hope he goes
I
to
mean, and this
the
is the
Saints
time
and
to do it, right?
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
draft. Let me get that draft pick so I can. If this isn't going to work out, let me get a
yeah,
rookie in here that maybe some can fill something
right.
else. Yeah,
But I mean, that just goes to show the direction that the Raiders are going on defense. They're a full switch to a 3-4 base now instead of a 4-3. So the changes are definitely being made. Players are being brought in.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like what's happening for the Raiders. I'm excited for you guys. What would you say 1 to 10 excitement level after this draft?
You know, something I expected. So it's like a one right
Oh
now.
my
Like
god, this guy is
I just
on all the time.
I just expect us to be
This
okay.
is
Yeah.
nothing.
That was, that was regular. Those are the drafts that we just have, you know. So we might have
Mel
been.
Kiper, ESPN NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper has the Raiders as one of four teams this year who got an A ranking in the draft. I feel like this. I also watched a Browns kind of draft recap where these guys for the Browns were talking about getting an A plus or not A plus, getting an A ranking, and they're like, I'm not used to this. This is I don't know what's going on. We made a lot of good picks, so I feel like maybe this is that the tide is turning on a bunch of teams that have been in a rut, the last couple of years where they
For
can
sure.
not only get back to level the playing field, but freaking build up to
Yeah.
start some franchise, some dynasties,
And look,
some legendary teams that people remember.
for those,
What is Fernando Mendoza's nickname, Raider nickname? Like, do they have one yet?
yeah, the
Oh,
winner,
this guy, this guy,
the winner.
Fernando.
Yeah, you know, and to all those teams that are trending in that area right now, especially with them having a good draft this year. Good luck to you guys. I mean, we've been doing it for a while, but you know, we're kind
No,
we're kind of used to it.
no,
Yeah,
no. The Raiders have been making not great draft decisions for a
yeah.
long time,
We
and it's
just
been something we could count on. We, as other teams, as Raider haters, as outside Raider teams, could count on
we just
the
like to
Raiders either
look.
trading for a very fast, trying to draft a very fast wide receiver early, trying to draft a DN that didn't compute or compete, you know, and now it's like,
It's not. We just, I mean,
what are you?
we
That's
can see it by like the teams that were trying to make playoffs against us that we were able to beat and make sure they didn't get to the playoffs. Those guys
yeah,
know. Those guys know.
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So that's the first pick for the Raiders. Congratulations, Fernando Mendoza. We will see how. Hopefully, okay. What week do you think Fernando Mendoza becomes the starter for the Raiders? Because there's talk about him not playing at all, like maybe like the
If
Patrick
if
Mahomes treatment, where he doesn't get into like the last game of his rookie year.
if it's bad, it's bad. So it's gonna be early, like 3 or 4, week 3 or 4. If it's bad,
Whoa!
you know what I mean.
Oh,
I'm
if it's
just
bad,
saying if
okay.
it's bad, if it's really bad. If not, then maybe when they're like out of contention and then he
Mm-hmm.
has time to play, and you don't want to get like before Kirk Cousins retires, you don't want to have him retire with some lingering injury. Then you put him in like week 9 or 10, you know.
Get him out of here.
So yeah, have him sit and he can teach from the bench. He can essentially become another coach on the bench for the quarterbacks, and because they did also sign a really good quarterback out of Baylor as an undrafted rookie, Sawyer Robertson. So they essentially he might be the third quarterback in there with Aiden O'Connell. So
But yeah. All
yeah,
right. Let's talk about Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. You're a huge Fighting Irish fan. Jeremiah Love, one of the some seen as the best overall player possible in this draft. He goes third to the Arizona Cardinals, and not only because he's a Notre Dame running back, and you're a big Notre Dame fan, but also on the way this affects another Samoan there in Arizona. One of the recent signings in this free agency for the Cardinals was former Falcons backup running back or RB2 Tyler Allgier. Now with him signing a $7 million contract, $7 million a year contract in Arizona, there was talk, and Adam Schefter recently mentioned this, that he thought he was getting lead back, opportunity there in Arizona. Now they bring in Jeremiah Love, who definitely will be the RB1. What do you think Tyler Allgier, his like Arizona career is going to be like now that Jeremiah Love is that guy cemented as the RB1 there?
Well, hey, look, for me, I think he still has that lead back role. It's just that they're gonna lead him back to the bench. But
Whoa!
but I think it stays the same. I'm just kidding, man. I can never
Oh,
do
the
what you do.
same, the
It'll be the
same
same
as he
role that
was
he had in
with the
Atlanta.
Falcons
Yeah,
behind Bijan
yeah,
Robinson, a highly drafted running back. Yeah,
right.
okay.
But because the skill level, just joking, my guy. Can
Yeah,
never
yeah,
do
yeah.
what you do, Tyler Allgier. We do root for you, my guy. Promise. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think because Jeremiah Love is kind of he is a bigger back. He's probably stronger, maybe physically than um
Well, I mean, Algiers a pretty stocky,
no, not Algier, but
Oh,
Bijan Robinson.
oh,
So
okay.
kind of the same role they play. They'll be the speed back, and Algier will be the power back, which he is. So Algier will probably get more of the snaps
Goal
in the
line.
red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he'll get
Yep.
all the
Nice.
more than his share of the red zone snaps, but short yardage. So I don't think his role changes much that he was already in. I think
Mm-hmm.
the expectation that he had in his head is going to have to change now because he definitely. I mean, they might have just even promised him that, yeah, of course you can be the lead back, but I don't think Arizona thought they would have the chance to draft him. So Jeremiah Love, that is. So
I mean, that they knew they had the third pick when they signed Tyler Algier to a contract, right?
yeah.
So they knew that the Raiders were going to take Fernando Mendoza. So they must have thought that the Jets were going to take uh, this guy and they were going to end up with a defensive player. But
My thing
maybe
is, it's just because we don't know a lot that goes. And again, probably shouldn't even talk about it, but there's probably a lot of talk that goes on in the background, and I'm pretty sure Tennessee was trying to make a strong push to move up to draft Jeremiah Love. That was a lot of the talk. So I think when they couldn't make the push and Arizona was there, Arizona's probably, well,
boom.
yeah,
And Jeremiah Love must be such a great running back that taking him at 3, like it's just because you signed Tyler Algier to a $7 million contract doesn't, or $7 million a year contract doesn't mean you're not going to take a great player like Jeremiah Love. So
for
that's
sure.
assuming that Jeremiah Love is that good of a player.
But also, you can look through draft history. There's not many running backs that have been taken high and three at even three. Like how many running backs have
Mm-hmm.
been taken at three? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't. He was projected, yes, in the top five, but I don't think people even thought about him going at three unless someone was moving up to get him. So I know there was a bigger surprise in the draft when the Rams drafted Ty Simpson, but I think Jeremiah Love going not at three, but to the Cardinals at three was a really big surprise because they could have probably, I think Arvell Reese had been the most projected to go at three, and he
Trevor
did not go.
Reese.
Not Reese, sorry. Oh yeah, Arvell Reese. I'm sorry, because David Bailey was pretty much the consensus going to the Jets at two, and Arvell Reese was all over the boards everywhere, going three to the Cardinals. So yeah,
Okay, here is a list. Sorry, I used Chat GPT for this. Number one overall picks, running backs. Number two overall picks, and number three overall picks in the common draft area. Number three, we'll start with three. Number three overall picks: Barry Sanders, Garrison Hurst, Curtis Ennis, and Trent Richardson. So 1 for 4 there.
And Trent, yeah, there you go. And Trent Richardson was years ago, like at least at least five. I know it's more than five, but
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like that's how long it's been since a running back's gone that early. So because everybody else that you named before him was a lot earlier.
Yeah, 89, Garrison Hurst,
Yeah,
1993. Okay, number 2 overall pick, 1983, Eric Dickerson.
great.
1994, Marshall Falk.
Another great,
2006, Reggie Bush.
kind of
20,
great.
2018. This is a lot later than I thought. I feel like this guy, Saquon Barkley, 2018.
But he panned out. I mean, again,
Mhm.
he did win a Super Bowl, but there also have been running backs that went to the Super Bowl that were picked later in rounds that have been to the Pacheco won the Super Bowl before Barkley did. So, you know what I mean? That's going to be everybody's argument that you could go down the line, you can
Yeah,
draft the like you guys got Hampton later in the first round, but I mean, I know some people still argue that you guys might have been able to get him in the second. Running back's just not a premium pick or position to
position
pick
for that.
early
Yeah.
because lifespan for them at that position in the league isn't that long because they take a beating. They take such a beating in the league. They take hits, people are going after their legs.
Mm-hmm.
So running backs are their shelf life isn't great in the NFL. So if you drop them high, your value is like,
That.
but if you have
Well,
such a player, he can play, he just does things. It's like I guess you would say like a unicorn. Like there's things he does on the field that you just can't ignore. He's got the speed, he's got the power. We've seen him hurdle people multiple times. It's not like like he hurdles people on purpose. Like he waits for that moment. I know that's not like a defining trait that I want to see my running back jump over people, but the athleticism that takes to do that is wild. And you've seen
yeah.
him break multiple like 75 plus yard runs for touchdowns in seasons, not just like throughout his career, but multiple in more than one season. So yeah,
He also becomes the richest running back
yeah,
ever
ever. Yeah,
in NFL history. The most fully guaranteed money to a running back is going to the third overall pick who has not yet played a down in the NFL because of the way the contracts are structured for the
yeah,
draft picks. The number 3 overall pick gets, no matter what his position is, gets the same amount of money, right? So if it
every
was
year.
him, if it was a fullback, if it was a lineman, a wide receiver, whoever gets picked in the third spot gets third pick money. It's already agreed to. And that is 50 million guaranteed, which is more than everybody else playing running back out there.
A lot of
Uh,
money.
yeah. So good for him. And also sucks for Tyler Allgier, but Tyler Allgier, if something does happen to Jeremiah Love, obviously has that handcuff inside track to running back one stuff.
Yeah.
James Conner's still there. I mean, I assume he's retiring soon or moving on soon.
Well, I hope so. Look, I'm not an NFL player. I've never played at close to that level. But if I was Tyler Allgeier, I'd kind of be happy. You know what I mean? It helps me be healthier in the backfield, not being, taking such a beating. But at the same time, I can just continue what I'm doing. I can continue scoring touchdowns when I'm supposed to. I'll still get. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they'll lighten the workload this time but it's almost like playing behind Bijan Robinson. I maybe wanted to be like just the only back in the league, but I think in the league that they play in today, I think having multiple backs in
Yeah.
the backfield is probably way better for everyone in that backfield. So
It's better, yeah, and also as far as draft resources, I think it's better to have like 3 4th round picks playing running back than it is to have a first round pick and 2 7s. Just like having a better floor of athleticism, I think,
yeah,
while not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like you
sure,
said, running back is a position that every down, most of the downs, they're getting smacked, they're getting tackled as hard as the defenders can tackle them. So it is a position where guys get banged up. And if you get banged up in the NFL, you miss games. That's a huge thing where they have to fill in, but it's next man up. So having these running backs, um, while also not spending too much on them, could be really helpful for a team that's trying to build a roster like that.
I know you just feel that way because you've just never had a running back from Notre Dame play for you. So I totally understand.
Huh? Never had a running back from Notre Dame. I can't think of one off the top. Yeah. All right. So before we get to Spencer Fano, I wanted to talk about the seventh overall draft pick, who is Sonny Styles, Ohio State linebacker.
Ohio State.
Ohio State linebacker going to the Washington Commanders. And when I was hearing about, linebacker Sonny Styles, and then going to the Commanders defense, who also has linebacker Frankie Luvu, my immediate worry was like, how is this going to affect Frankie? Is he going to have to move to a different side? Is he going to have to like take fewer plays because this new rookie is coming in who's drafted seventh overall? That's crazy. That's a lot. That the Commanders are saying a lot by drafting this guy seventh overall, on what they expect and how they expect him to flourish in their team. But selfishly, I'm thinking about Frankie. Right? How does this affect Frankie, if at all, and or how might it even help him?
It freed them up, honestly. Of course, you're gonna have to also think about, like you said, snaps taken away from him, or him having to move to another side. But the good thing about Frank is he's played all over the field. If you get watched him play his last season in Carolina, he even played middle linebacker to fill in for Shaq when Shaq was out. So they moved him to middle linebacker because he could play everywhere. He's played middle linebacker before. He's played end with his hand in the ground. He's able to play on your D line and play end. He's also ready to play that rush linebacker. So Frankie's so versatile that it's hard to keep him off the field. He does so
Mm-hmm.
much for the team. And that's just talking about the physical attributes that he brings to the team. But the energy that he brings is also one of the very, very big things that
Nice, yeah,
teams who sign him love about him. Just the leadership and the energy that he brings towards the defense. He's always on 10, just ready to play, ready to put his helmet on
mm-hmm.
and take it to the other team. So yeah, I think the concerns are valid, but I think in the long run, it's just gonna free Frankie up because now you have to worry about Sonny Styles. Also, it's another linebacker that can be there in coverage. Um, Bobby Wagner was probably one of the better coverage linebackers in the league for a long time, but I mean, he's older. He definitely isn't as fast as he used to
Yeah,
be. You
yeah,
can see that. People were There's a stat Bobby Wagner was leading the league in tackles, like even later into his career. But if you look at the stats, nothing against Bobby Wagner, but a lot of those tackles came like after the line of scrimmage. So, like or like with yards to gain. So, um, yeah, I think he brings a lot of like that's Fred Warner Jr. Honestly, that's what he brings
right.
uh to the Washington defense. So it's going to be
And
fun to watch him and Frankie and whoever else is playing linebacker for that team play together because they'll be flying around the field.
you look at the measurables for Sunny Styles: 6'5", 244, ran a 4.46 40-yard dash, also jumped 43 and a half inches in the vertical, and 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. 11 foot. Okay, so
Yeah,
explosive. But here
explosive.
is what I like. I'm looking through this pre-draft analysis, Matt Miller's his comparisons, post-draft analysis going to the Commanders, and it's talking about him as a run defender, but also that he has good range, allowing him to make plays sideline to sideline. Okay, and in coverage, breaks it well on the ball. So they're talking about being able to have the speed to cover running backs, but also the size to cover tight ends, right?
Yep.
So I'm thinking, oh, back up. This is an off the ball linebacker in the middle. And just like you said, this says Coach Dan Quinn gets his impact middle linebacker in a player who has Fred Warner like tools. So I'm thinking, Fred Warner is a demon in the middle of the field and back. He's not necessarily a rusher. I think Frankie Luvu, one of his best, abilities is rushing the passer, is blowing up tackles, is speed to power, getting around tackles, making them look foolish, pressuring the quarterback, even taking the quarterback down. In his last, not his, I think his one of his first be legendary golf posts, he said, In season, I hunt quarterbacks. Out of season, I hunt pins, which was hard. But the part of his quarterback hunting is getting past his line and getting to the quarterback and taking them down. So I like that this pick of Sonny Styles. I don't think it overlaps as much. It's definitely more of a, if you need some rest, we have a really competent guy that can spell you for both Frankie and Sonny Styles, right? If Sonny Styles needs a break in the middle of the field, you have a guy that has played middle linebacker in Frankie Luvu. If Frankie Luvu needs, or maybe they want to get a different outside rush and switch Frankie to the other side, they have a guy in Sonny Styles who maybe not the best rusher, but definitely has the skills and physical traits to put some pressure. And we always talk about making life easier for the guy on the other side, your teammate on the other side. If you're a monster on the left and the offense is focused on you sliding to your side, that helps, the other side. And we can talk about that when we talk about Ruben Bain's running mate, who the Chargers took. Was he good because he's good, or was he good because he was, across from a great rusher? So we'll talk
That's
about
what it
that.
was.
We'll talk about that at 22. But I like to hear that Sonny Styles isn't going to step on Frankie's,
No,
area or snaps or stuff. So Frankie's still going to get to thrive. Not worried about that. All right, one of the best picks, paraded in the 2026 NFL draft was the Cleveland Browns. Had the 6th overall pick and traded back to 9, picking up a couple picks and letting the Kansas City Chiefs move up to pick a cornerback who they traded away for a first round pick to the Rams. They gave the Rams Trent McDuffie, and they took the Rams first round pick. And then they drafted a replacement. But Cleveland moves back to get Spencer Fano, tackle from Utah, who they wanted to get at 6. So they move back a little bit. They pick up some extra draft picks. They get the guy they want. A culture setter. A new head coach in Cleveland, Todd Monken, who is not a new coach. He's a very old guy, but he is being charged with, getting things jumping. Andrew Berry, the GM for Cleveland Browns, he is trying to get out of the, Deshaun Watson debacle, $230 million fully guaranteed. They're trying to get out of that and right the ship after, the last couple of years. But taking Spencer Fano, who has been super excited, this guy is at the pool house doing backflips. His whole family's jumping in there. Shout out to the Fano family. But yeah, super excited to see him get picked up. Spencer Fano, 6'5", 311, and going there to basically help the Browns reset. The Browns, not a great team last year, but they got rid of basically all their offensive line. They picked up Zion Johnson. They signed him to a big contract. He's the left guard for the Chargers, as well as a bunch of other linemen they through free agency. So it's like a new guard there for offensive line in Cleveland. This is like a new team. This is a chance for a rebirth. But they told Spencer Fano that they want him to be playing left tackle. That's their left tackle. And he mentioned this in his first interview with the Cleveland Browns kind of radio team there, that to have someone have, that much expectation of you or belief in you in such a pivotal position means a lot to him. And he's not the type that wants to let people down. He also talked about, Joe Thomas. He got Joe Thomas's number. Like the radio guy was like, I have Joe Thomas's number. He said to give it to you, or you could give me your number and I could give it to him and he'll call you, whatever you want to do. But he wants to help you. Like let you pick his brain, whatever you can do for this team, whatever he can help you with. He's open ears and it's just a phone call away. So it's dope to see the team already accepting, obviously they want their first round pick to succeed, but seeing him put in a good situation with some expectations of greatness, but it just feels like he's ready to accept that and to, show up every day and fight for it. Spencer Fano going to the Cleveland Browns at 9. What did you think about that? How do you think that's going to play out?
I don't like the Browns. Just kidding.
I get
No, I think it's gonna.
it.
We've all seen the tape. We've seen people talk about him. He gets drafted where basically people thought he was gonna go. Maybe not that pick. They probably thought the Browns would have took him earlier. I think the one overlooked thing that's going to make Spencer better in Cleveland, make him a little bit more comfortable there, is the signing of his brother Logan Fano.
Nice,
So
yeah.
both him and Logan Fano will be in Cleveland. Logan plays defensive end. So I think the both of them being in Cleveland together will kind of just make things a little easier for, not to say that Logan's gonna, just be just chilling out over there because he's got a job to do, but I think the
Yeah.
expectations for Spencer are a little higher. So, and then just the way he said how lofty the expectations are that they're putting on his shoulders and how they trust him with those things. You can come for me if you want, but I think it's a Polynesian trait too, where anytime we're told someone has that much confidence in us, the one thing that I think when you grow up Polynesian is you really, really don't want to let those people down. You're going to do
Yeah. Yeah.
everything in your power to make sure that the confidence they put in you, the trust they gave you, is going to be well awarded with the things that you do with that trust. So I think that's also another underrated trait that he has going into that. I think Spencer's going to be good.
Hmm.
Being offered help from Joe Thomas, one of the best tackles, probably one of the, was he the last number one pick? No, he wasn't number one. Was he number one in Cleveland?
I don't know. Probably. I think it's. I feel like Joe Thomas was the number one pick, but
I think
could
he was
be.
the number one pick in the draft that year. But I mean, just to get the nod from him and have the help offered to him is a big thing. Like you said, the way they're accepting him into Cleveland and just trying to make his time there really comfortable, but at the same time make sure that he has all the tools necessary around him to be better. I think that's a good sign. So, and left tackle, it's not like he hasn't played left tackle. So, it's a position he's played before.
Ooh, the Cleveland Browns selected Joe Thomas third overall.
There, see, so yeah. So
Do you
pretty
want to
high
know
pick.
who the two guys before him were?
Who's that?
At number two, the Detroit Lions selected Calvin Johnson, wide receiver from Georgia Tech. In 2007, the Raiders selected Jamarcus Russell, quarterback LSU,
Oh
number one
yeah,
overall.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So the Joe Thomas draft.
yeah. But I mean, there you go, Joe Thomas. I mean, had he went first, the Raiders might have had a All Pro Hall of Fame tackle.
Oh,
So
there was a post. I didn't want to include it. Uh, I didn't want to feel like it's piling on or anything, but
no,
it's in the past. You know what I'm saying? I will live with that. But it was basically like 20 all pros or even Hall of Famers that went the pick after the Raiders pick in
for sure.
like 15 drafts or something. It was like, you guys got this guy, could have got Calvin Johnson. You guys got this guy, but a pick
No,
later,
definitely.
Larry Fitzgerald. But then I also think you can do that for anybody. Oh, there was a really
No, yeah.
amazing player that went a couple
Ahead.
picks later. Yeah, because the
That's
draft
just
is like
that's just the draft.
people people say they want the best player available, but it does come down to the specific situation for that team,
Yeah.
and it's the best player available for us. And so they'll pick, DNs when they need left tackles, or they'll pick left tackles when they need DBs, or because they convince themselves that this is, well, I mean, they need whatever position, so they'll take that and they'll
Yeah.
convince themselves that this player is amazing because he's going to fix this hole for us, instead
Exactly.
of, oh, well, that guy though is one of the three best football players in the country coming out of college right now. We should take that guy. So, all right, Spencer Fano, infectious personality. Everyone is smiling. He's getting a hug from everybody. And they even talked about that in the interview, how much everyone immediately
Yeah.
was comfortable and excited and happy and rooting for
I
him.
felt bad for the couch. That's what I felt.
Yo, he got up there. And man, Sammy broke her foot like 5 years ago, stepping off a couch, like trying to clean up some, like trying to take down some Christmas decorations, and then stepping back, just landing awkwardly on the side of her ankle. And then that was crazy for like the next year we had to do like, appointments and slowly taking
Yeah.
care of it. And that's the only thing I'm thinking about when I see this fool get up and start dapping people up while sitting on some couch cushions. I'm like, bro, your ankles, dog. It's 300 pounds up there. Get down.
I'm just saying, I was
Uh,
like, bro, well, they're gonna have to get a new couch now.
you know what I love to see specifically during Spencer Fano's draft calls and seeing like the reviews or the replays of the calls and the camera work that or the video taken there was how obviously close and important his dad is.
For sure.
Bro, holding his dad's hand and like you could see them like excited
Yeah,
squeezes, you know, it's like and realizing your son is having this life moment that so few get. That's got to be a huge proud feeling
I'm
for his
sure.
dad, but also being the son that can count on a dad to be there. Um,
Hey,
that's got to be great. That's good. What an amazing feeling.
no slight
Uh,
to you, Logan, because you made it too.
no, yeah, I mean, I didn't see Logan's video. I didn't see yours. I mean, I think I saw like you get the call, okay, but seeing that where
Oh man.
him, you see Spencer Fano, you see his dad,
No, yeah.
the biggest hug after, the biggest bear hug after that, uh,
Yeah. Shout out to
that
Big Man. Shout
bro,
out to Big.
that's dad goals,
Yeah.
dog. Like I'm trying to find like some dad role models, and then this is
No.
definitely
And
uh being
and
falling into
again,
that.
like we talked about, Bing was an amazing athlete in his own right in American Samoa. I'm sure if Bing had the opportunities that Spencer had probably growing up, because
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
yep,
know,
yep.
Bing when Bing went to he was playing ball back in Samoa when, you had to literally do your own recruiting for coaches to come back to Samoa because it was like
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s. So
They're not
yeah.
checking out Tutuila
No,
for
no, and not at the time, not at that time. For a quarterback, for a 6'4" quarterback, as being he had the size. He had the size to play quarterback at the next level. He had the skills at the arm. Honestly, he was a much better basketball player to me than he was a football player. But
no.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, being an athlete himself and then having your son like make that leap to the next level is major. Yeah,
But and then having like being an athlete, a good enough athlete enough that you can set up your athletic son to go further than you did. You know,
yeah,
that too is like it feels very intentional. It feels very consistent over a long period of time. Kudos to the family, kudos to dad, kudos to Spencer, Logan, everyone that was able to make this happen and now get to start this just this next step, dog. This next
yeah,
step.
for sure.
Uh
For sure.
yeah, a couple of other notes that I took about Spencer before we move to Francis. They obviously they're going to talk a lot about Joe Thomas, right? He mentioned Joe Thomas is his personal goat. Joe Thomas, he said, played 10 years without missing a snap, 10,303 straight snaps in a 10-year career. And he mentioned, there's no way he went 10 years and stayed healthy the entire time. So not only did he fight through it, but he played at an elite level. And Spencer says, that shows a lot about his character and his grit. And that's like an example that he definitely wants to work towards. Um, Also, they asked him, you're the first, you're the first round pick for this team, and these expectations that you're coming here to change the culture, set the culture. How do you feel about that? And he said he feels like he was crafted for this responsibility and given leadership roles growing up. So this is like kind of that next step, and he understands that he has to be a rookie in his first year, uh, but he knows that his goals is to be, some of the greatest to not only play for the Browns but to play the game.
Yeah,
So he says he'll do whatever it takes to get to that point. But I like that he also said, a lot of the Islanders mentioned this. This first year, they're ready to get after it, but also understanding that they're a rookie and they're going to have to earn their way up. They're not just going to be able to step in and bark and the people are going to listen to them. They're going to be grown man, veteran, professional football players that have played this game for a long time that are going to be looking at them like, I'm about to eat this dude's lunch. Like I'm about to take this first rounder and embarrass him, like and show him what it really is. Welcome to the league. So he understands that he's going to go through some of that, but he wants to do it the right way, work hard, and become one of the greats. So that That was awesome. I also saw the Cleveland Browns. They did like I think it was the Cleveland Browns, but they were basically talking about how nerdy he is, quote unquote
Oh yeah,
nerdy, and just asking him questions about anime, Pokemon, comics and stuff like that. And it was cool to see. There wasn't any sort of like, yeah, I kind of collect Pokemon, but I'm
yeah.
not
They
really a nerd or
they
anything.
didn't try to play it
He
too
was
cool.
all the way in, 100% himself, genuine. He's like, oh yeah, my favorite is for alligator. Talking about this and anime and all, so that I think we always love to see someone who is true and genuine and being themselves. Um, so love to see that, and I think that goes back to his family and how he was
Yeah.
raised and how they allowed him to be that. So again, shout out to them. Spencer Fano, number 9 overall to the freaking Cleveland Browns. I'm scared. Okay, last thing. The Browns, the Browns have had some bad luck over like the last, I don't know, 20 years. I think their last consistent quarterback was Tim Couch, Ty Detmer. I don't know. It's been a long time. So
That's they weren't consistent at all.
they weren't even consistent then, right? They were just one of the names on the list that I remembered. But I really hope that similar to the Raiders, right, who are having these good draft classes back to back, starting to stack up these roster decisions that are for the long term and are positive for their teams. Uh, Similar to the Raiders, I wonder if this is the Browns turning the corner and coming back to, try to push for the playoffs and actually matter in the postseason and the championship talk, the championship conversation. And could it be through a franchise left tackle like Spencer Fon? That's gonna be dope. We're gonna definitely be following along. Super excited, super excited. Um, Number 10, Francis Mauigoa, out of IMG and Miami. And Aua,
I don't
Ely,
know.
Ely. It was like somebody in the chat was like, I thought he was from Ely, Ely. And it was like, no, he's from. I was like, look at his shirt. Uh, so Mauigoa, 6'5", 329 out of Miami, played right tackle, possibly will slide inside to right guard, is what we're hearing. The New York Giants say. So they had him as the first overall tackle, and ESPN also had him as fifth overall. So this is a big win for the Giants, who are starting over with John Harbaugh. Um, and I watched Francis's like first New York Giants interview, um, which we talked about earlier. Um, I'm worried. I'm worried about him. Like he's given genuine answers, but uh, the fobbiness is there, and I worry that the New York media market is going to try to use that negatively. But just it, and what I'm saying is like when they were asking him questions, he was just answering. There wasn't like a lot of, well, let me think how to like pivot this so that it, like coach speak or PR stuff. He was like, yeah, my brother might live with me. Or yeah. He's just answering questions and going like that. Um, but hearing him talk about John Harbaugh saying he's an old school coach, he likes that style, right? Just grit is definitely a word that they use. Him going 10th overall to the New York Giants. What are your feelings about Sisi Mauigoa?
I probably thought you should have went earlier, but
Yeah,
10th is fine. I also just laughing my just laughing too hard. I've seen a lot of the reactions of New York Giants fans because I think a lot of them were expecting Caleb Downs to be drafted at that position, and a lot of
safety.
them, yeah, a lot of them wanted Caleb Downs. So they're like, "Why are we getting a tackle?" Like, bro, I hope this kid goes over there and just wrecks people. And New
Mm-hmm.
York's, I just want to see everybody's reaction once he's like the best tackle because they have also been drafting a bunch of linemen these past couple of years and who haven't panned out. So I get the frustration. I get the frustration. Caleb Downs is probably also ranked as the number 2 overall prospect in the draft by a lot of people. So if he was still on the board, even yeah, like I get it, but also I don't care. I'm
Mm,
just happy he got drafted at 10. I know your fear, but this is the thing about also kids who grew up in American Samoa, in Samoa in general, in South Pacific, they don't have a filter. You know why? Because they've never had to have that filter. They don't live in that world, like you said,
mm,
in New
mhm.
York or anything like that. Everything that comes out of your mouth, they've been taught to just tell the truth. Like with
Yeah.
no filter. Like, ask me a question, I'm gonna politely tell you the full, truthful, honest answer. And I'm not. If it hurts your
Mm,
feelings, that's not what they were trying to do. That's just how they were taught to answer these questions, like to do everything honestly, do
right.
everything just yeah. So I get your fear, but at the same time,
I,
they'll have people around them, PR guys. Like you said, his brother does play in New York. His brother's been in the league for a whole year before
oh
Francis
my
got
god.
there, so that's gonna help a lot. Uh, you saw his
Sorry.
parents pray over him
I
during
like that.
so they'll have his parents out there. He's got the team behind him that's gonna be he'll be okay. He'll be okay.
They asked him, "Hey, so your brother's been in the NFL. Have you like what questions have you asked him to kind of get ready?" And he said, "I haven't asked him a lot." Hey, dog, look at this. Listen to this. I haven't asked him a lot. He said, "Just be myself." He did say, "I'll enjoy the league more than college because school is out of it."
There you go.
Just
See?
straight ball. Like I don't have to go to class anymore. All we're doing is focusing on destroying people.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
2 sacks over 525 pass block attempts over 14 games, 16 games. Yeah, yeah, an
16.
extra 4 games going to the national championship versus Indiana. He has there, and in the draft process, it came up where he has a herniated disc. You mentioned that he's had it for 3 years and he's been playing well on it. We also
Yeah.
looked it up beforehand, and he showed back up 2 weeks after the combine, and doctors looked at it again and said there are no, real big issues. It's not something to worry about right now. You might be able to do something, later, get some surgery or something, but it's not like a big
No.
uh, issue or something that you have to worry about. Uh,
Look, half
I
of you walking around right now, if you feel pain in your back, it's because you're walking around with the herniated disc. A lot of us are not knowingly walking around with the herniated disc. It's not like it of course it's going to mean a lot more when you're playing sports because the movement that you do, but again, it's not as uncommon as people think it is, and there's degrees to herniated disc. Again, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to medical school, but after learning about
everybody's
this
kind of
stuff,
got some
yeah,
discs that are herniated a little
yeah,
bit.
it's after hearing all of this stuff, of course, I went to look up a lot of this stuff, and yeah, a lot of doctors will tell you that uh more than not, or maybe almost all of us are out here walking around with a herniated disc at some point. So I feel like the Giants wouldn't have drafted him that high
Yeah,
if it was such a big concern.
yeah.
We've seen guys drop this year already into way later rounds who were projected to go one or in the first round because of injuries. So yeah, teams have doctors for this specific reason, and they've done their due diligence, and the Giants are getting a like everybody says, the Giants are getting a dog who, like he said, he's ready to die for Jackson Dart. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that.
Like, yeah, but again,
That's
and
exactly what Will Campbell said last year. It's like,
no,
why we don't have to like make it a life or death stuff. You can just try your best, and your best is great.
for sure. But that's the honesty that when you grow up in American Samoa, those are the kind of answers you're gonna give because it's like
He's not ready to die for this man.
no, that's exactly. But because that's how you're taught. You're taught a lot of the English stuff, like from
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
from stuff that you
Yeah,
watch.
yeah.
And it's exactly something somebody probably said in an interview that he saw somewhere. What it
He saw
is,
it last year
right? What
at the NFL
yeah,
draft when Will Campbell said it.
what you want to take away from it is the passion that he has that he's gonna keep
Yeah,
Jackson Dart clean all game long.
yeah.
So yeah,
Um, yeah. He mentioned Jackson Dart, who he called a down to earth kid who loves
that so
fishing.
again, another thing that kids from some it's the way he's raised. So
Good kid.
he's a lot bigger. He's probably gonna be looking out for Jackson Dart. So in his head, Jackson Dart is just another kid that he's gonna have to look after. And I'm telling you. Look, talk to all the kids who just like straight off the rock, whatever rock you want to pick in the South Pacific. That's their mentality. Like it's almost like, yeah, he's gonna little brother you. Sucks, but it's in a good way because
Yeah,
he's
and
really,
also you get the big little brother
yeah,
protector.
right. He's looking after you. I thought that was one of the funniest things at the end. Yeah, he's a
uh,
really down to earth kid. It's like,
it's like Gizmo.
you know that Jackson Dart was in school for like 6 years before.
Yeah, he's older
Yeah,
than you.
yeah.
Also, someone asked him, with you and Dart both being from Utah, does that help you guys have a good connection? And this was like, yeah, I'm not actually from Utah. I'm from American Samoa. But he says Jackson being near the Polynesian culture and endured in that part of the world, it means a lot. He wants more polys over here. He said Jackson Dart said he wants more polys
Hey,
to
look,
come.
Jackson Dart's warm up music. The first song on this playlist is a J Boog song. So, you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah. We talked about Jackson Dart and
yeah,
knowing being
yeah,
invited to the barbecue,
yeah.
the Samoan barbecues. Can't speak for the cookouts. Okay, some of the other they also asked him about The Rock. Hey, did you see The Rock?
Shouted him
Posted
out.
you,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
this fool tried to play it off like he's like, no, I haven't. I've been staying away from social media. Just focusing on the main thing. I was like, oh, okay. But he was like, oh, but if someone like The Rock reached out to you, would that be cool? And he said, yeah, oh, definitely. The Rock has been someone I look forward to my whole life. Whatever he does, he represents the Samoan culture, and that's something that I like to do and take pride in it. And for him to do that at the big stage that he is with the Fast and Furious, it means a lot. And someone I look up to, and for him to notice me, it means a lot.
I think that might have been the only statement I was worried about. Was when he was like, because every time he got the chance to say it was, I represent the Samoan community. So you're taking on that responsibility?
Hey, it's well, but that's the thing, right? We're so few that
No,
when
yeah, yeah,
some Samoans or Islanders will rise up to this very noticeable level,
yeah.
top 10 draft pick in the NFL, going to a New York team. Now it's like, oh, for a lot of people, Sisi Mauigoa is going to be the first and maybe only Samoan person they meet,
No, for
and they're
sure.
just going to know that he's a big giant, ready to wreck
Yeah,
somebody. But they're also going to hear, I guess, the English as a second language, some of the mannerisms, some of the malpropriisms where he you misuses a word or something else like that. I don't want them, and this is just my, I guess, stereotyping of the New York media, in that it's not like Indianapolis, I assume, or like some small market where the media is like, that's our guy, let's take care of him, let's kind of protect him. The New York media has always been ruthless. We don't take fluff answers. We want the realness. We want exactly what's going on. And also kind of a bit more tenacity in how hard they'll go after people. They'll like won't let the story go. That to
hey,
me is New York media. So
maybe that's why their two football teams suck. So
yeah,
maybe
and
change
why
it up, New
people
York.
don't like being interrogated by the
Yeah,
media. But that's just like I think when you're a journalist for those outlets, they expect you to like get the stuff.
for sure.
Some of the other direct quotes from Sisi Mauigoa's first his introductory press conference with the New York Giants. His opening statement: I'm thankful for this moment because all the hard work my parents have put in for me to be at this situation. Something I always wanted to give back to them and be able to experience that moment. Talking about them being at the draft with him, it means a lot to me. I sent that picture of his parents, praying over him in the back. I'm not super religious, like especially organized religion, like going into a church. I assume uh, people aren't doing it for the right reasons, but seeing his family praying over him and also like overwhelmed from the moment, but in that moment remembering to not only thank God but to ask for his protection over their son, that I think is like real Christianity and spirituality and belief and stuff like
For
that.
sure.
So I'm usually very skeptical of people throwing kind of their religion, which whatever it is, out. in the people's faces, but this wasn't even throwing it out. This was like them standing back, letting their son be in the forefront and in the moment, while also kind of like parents do, shepherding, watching, guiding, praying for. Uh, I love that a lot, and I sent that to the group because I wanted to remember to mention that. And almost all of these guys are talking about how important their parents are, um, and what they did to set them up for this opportunity. They talk about, I would not in any way have had this chance, have been here, have made this happen if my parents weren't there to support me, to guide me. So that also clicks with me because it makes me think, as a parent, what am I doing to set Nora up with the best opportunities, the best kind of attitude, the best skill set to attack these problems that she's going to have to deal with when she grows up, when she is growing up and making these choices and decisions and dealing with life. So, man, I love to see that. Shout out to the Mauigoa family. Um, Shout out to Francis there with John Harbaugh, who he says he likes, and they're just going to be smash mouth. Zay Flowers, former John Harbaugh player, said he thinks John Harbaugh is the reason the Ravens got injured so much, because he was like making them practice with pads a lot. Some of the old school guys that I've heard react to this are like, "Shut up! I have to play football." And then you have the new school who's like, "Yeah, you can't be making these athletic professionals hurt themselves extra. That's just going to lead to injuries and stuff." Any take on that? On Zay Flowers saying John Harbaugh is too tough of a coach because of the extra padded practices?
Yeah, grow up here.
Get tougher, the man says. Oh, sorry.
Get tougher. You're playing football. Go play football. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
How do you expect us to stay healthy if we're already hurt and we go to practice? But look, go to practice. Go practice.
Go to practice, yeah.
What is be a man?
Be a man. Don't ask for water.
Yeah, man.
Okay. After Francis Mauigoa, a couple other people went, and then one of the biggest surprises at 13, the Los Angeles Rams, who I think got that pick from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Or the Falcons.
Was it the fact for what?
So the Falcons, no, because the Rams gave the Chiefs a first rounder. So the Chiefs got that back end. They got a D tackle. But for James Pierce, the Falcons trade up, so they got the extra first rounder. So now the Rams are picking at 13, which the Rams were Final Four for the Super Bowl last year, right? They almost went to the Super Bowl. They might have won if they, got to play the Patriots. So to go from that and still get a, top 13 pick, it's pretty crazy. And then to use that top 13 pick on Ty Simpson, who was an Alabama quarterback given like a second round grade. But not only to take a rookie quarterback at 13, who is maybe not the 13th best, but to do that on a team that has the reigning MVP and a veteran quarterback who did not like this pick. And we saw that in the way that Sean McVay was despondent the night this pick happened. They were like, "Yo, you're taking a quarterback in this pick? What about Matt Stafford?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll keep that conversation between us. But he's definitely going to compete with Stetson Bennett. This is Matthew's team." And at first, everyone was like, "Oh, Sean McVay and Les Snead, the Rams GM, they didn't talk about this. They're butting heads. They're not on the same page. There's like some friction going on there at SoFi." But it turns out that apparently Matt Stafford got on the phone with Sean McVay and was like, "WTF, bro? What is this?" And like, was so upset that Sean McVay had to look like, "Yeah, I don't know about this pick. We have a great quarterback, but we're gonna do what we have to for this team," stuff like that. So, was this the biggest surprise for you of the draft?
Just because you didn't think the Rams were going to take a quarterback,
right?
Not because Ty Simpson got drafted in the first round, because he was already. People were talking about him maybe being the first round pick, because there were
first overall. Yeah,
there was guys like, "Well, he's better than." Okay, well, sucks for him because he's not gonna go first. But I
No.
think all these guys have their guys that they want to push forward. But um, I think just Stafford also needs to maybe chill a little bit because
Mhm.
look, you're not gonna play forever. I mean, you're you're already playing hurt. I think one more hit to Stafford's back and he could be paralyzed. He's
Wow, yeah, yep.
yeah, you
Because
know
he
what I
was on
mean?
like epidural
Yeah,
painkillers,
yeah,
injections to his back to deal with that. And
yeah,
I think a lot of us, especially in fantasy, cooled off of the Rams
yeah,
and
for
definitely
sure.
Matt Stafford. And then he comes and has an MVP freaking
Yeah.
year after all that. So, whatever. Ty Simpson, though, if something happens to Matt Stafford, could step in early. I know Stetson Bennett was a national championship quarterback, like
No, he was on
game.
he was on a national championship team.
Oh,
Two
national
two
championship team.
he was the quarterback of a national championship team. Two different things.
Wait, they didn't win?
No, they did,
Oh,
but it wasn't because of Stetson Bennett. So
no. Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That defense.
I think Ty Simpson, I don't know why they picked him. Probably not the best pick, but I don't think it was a bad pick for the team itself because you got to eventually get ready for
Yeah.
uh and I think if you pick that guy at that position or that time in the draft, it obviously means that you think that the rest of the team is kind of set. They didn't
Oh,
really
true.
lose anybody from the defense. They still got their two top receivers, even though one's a knucklehead and is in rehab right now. But I mean, you still have your two best receivers. You have one of the better running backs in the league still, on salary. So their O line's still intact. They're not bad. They weren't really hurting for maybe they could have used another, I don't know, DB maybe. But I think at that point too,
Uh,
Mansur Delaney was gone, and who would you
mm.
take in the backfield?
Well, they used their first round pick to bring Trent McDuffie. So
And
maybe
so they
they're,
got
yeah.
him. Yeah, so
Mhm.
so that hole was filled. So yeah, for me the surprise was just because the Rams hadn't been mentioned to taking a quarterback, but
It,
it also goes to show how uh we as fans aren't always privy to what teams are thinking. Like we can read all the reports we want. We can, listen to all the podcasts like
mm,
ours and we can give our opinions, but teams really will be doing their own type of scouting and you end up with picks like
yeah.
this and people is just like blindsided, but I don't think it was like a surprise pick for the front for Stafford, yes. For the front office
Right.
and McVay, I don't think it was a surprise. I think it was something that they had been thinking about.
For a while
Yeah.
because there's reports that the Rams were the ones that invited Ty Simpson to the draft that said, we might pick you. Like
Yeah.
you're not a
So
second rounder,
yeah,
and you think about positional rarity and value, quarterbacks are going to get bumped up even if you have a second round, third
for sure.
round
Yeah.
draft
Yeah.
grade, you could still go first round.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart first round, So uh yeah, so it was interesting to see him there at the draft and then, walk up and get that hat on.
Yeah.
Number 14 overall. And before we get to the Ravens pick, and I'm going to mention him in this kind of analysis, but Haloti Nada was at the draft in Pittsburgh announcing for the Baltimore Ravens. And he mentioned, he's like, hey, Pittsburgh, all of my kids were born in Baltimore. And before they could play ball or something. I forget exactly what he said, but he was like, and I taught them all one thing. And he steps back, and all three of his kids come in. Steelers suck, bro. I was like, oh, what? And with the next pick in the 2026
Yeah. You
draft,
went
the
straight
Baltimore
into
Ravens,
You know what?
bro.
It's crazy that some of these linemen that played in the league, like at the weight they play, like Joe Thomas.
Oh
Joe
yeah,
Thomas
yeah,
is like a healthy dude now.
skinny, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was on that first like the pilot episode of that NBC show that The Rock was hosting, kind of like Gladiators. I
Okay,
forgot what it was called, but he won that because he's super like in shape now.
wow.
But Paulo Singata looked really good on stage. Like he looked
Mhm.
like he,
Oh,
he
the
like
amount of weight that they shed after they're not like
yeah,
forced to eat
yeah,
10,000
yeah, yeah,
calories a day to stay big and wide and
yeah,
strong and not movable. It's crazy to see how much weight that
yeah,
just drops off of them, especially if they keep the athletic or the workouts going, and
Yeah,
it just drops right off.
like he came in. I was like, damn, what linebacker is this for the Ravens when he's walking up with his kids? He's like, oh, hello. I was like, that is not how but yeah,
Yeah. The Ravens get a Haloti Nada impact, but on offense. With the 14th overall pick, they select the guard out of Penn State, Olaivavenga Ioane, to be Lamar Jackson's next guard. Left guard, right guard, whatever it's going to be.
yeah,
This guy's going to be a stud. I think the same way Haloti Nada kind of dominated the inside of the trenches for the Baltimore Ravens and Terrell Suggs and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all them. I think that's going to be kind of like the, and I don't have enough of a comparison, but I feel like he's going to be the Quentin Nelson. Same way Quentin Nelson for the Indianapolis Colts has been one of the best linemen in the league. I feel like hopefully this is not too much, but I think Ioane can be that. He just seems like a competent, professional adult that's ready and willing and wanting to wreck people. This guy's got it. I don't have really anything else. The post draft analysis, one of the most common pre draft connections was Ioane to the Ravens. Just makes perfect sense.
yeah.
No team had a worse guard duo last season than the Ravens. Shout out to Daniel Faalele, who now followed his old coach to the New York Giants. He's going to play with Sisi. But Andrew
He's gonna play
Voorhees,
behind CC.
he's going to play behind Sisi. Andrew
Yes.
Voorhees and Daniel Faalele are gone. They've been replaced by John Simpson, who was a pretty decent inside lineman, and then Ioane, culture player with a nasty streak that the Ravens desperately need on an offensive line who just lost Tyler Linderbaum in free agency. So this is also, a chance for this guy to step right up and become a presence, which
Yeah.
I think he is. But it's at a position that doesn't get a lot of shine, So we're not going to hear his name all the time, but hopefully he plays in such a way that it rises to the top that the NFL insiders and maybe the award voters kind of recognize and have him up there on kind of the pedestal as
Well,
far as like first team or all pro teams and pro bowls and
you
recognizing him like that.
just look at it this way. He's at a position where we don't want to hear him mentioned all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Because we heard a lot of Daniel Faalele, and I swear
Yeah.
to I just wish we didn't because
I
I
know.
wish the kid panned out. But I mean, maybe New York's a different thing for him, so hopefully it goes out that way.
I
And
mean, he's
that's
going to the same system with
yeah.
the his coach from the Ravens over there.
See,
So
so I mean, and that's how good of a pick that was because we're able to talk about other stuff that were happening with the Ravens without going too much depth because it's just the right pick. He's going to be a great player. Not much to
yeah,
say. They've been talking about him all this time, which is crazy because he wasn't that big of a name to begin the season with, as far as like players being in the spotlight for college. But as soon as I want to say he's always been that good, but the video of him pushing that card up the
yeah,
tunnel, I think kind of just put him on the map, like social wise.
for
So
sure, for sure.
yeah, great pick. He's gonna
He
be great.
he addressed that. He addressed that video in his initial conference or press conference or interview with one of the reporters there with the Ravens, and he was like, that's just deep ass voice looking like Roman Reigns ass over here. He got a hat pulled hella low. He said he only got 4 hours of sleep. But answer he's like the reporter. I think one of the Ravens longtime reporters there is like, that video of you helping the equipment guy that's gone viral. You've probably seen that a bunch of times. He kind of seemed tired of it. He was like, yeah, that was just somebody needed help. That's all that was. Nothing more. But that's cool. He's willing to step
Yeah,
out there and help when he sees it. A
yeah,
lot of us, a lot of us might notice when help is needed, but we don't step in, or we're willing to step in, but we don't notice. So to be able to notice and do something about it, shout out to this young man, making a great example. All right, we got to move through some of these a little quicker than the first seven. 20, Makai Lemon to the Philadelphia Eagles. AJ Brown, Eagles wide receiver, is rumored to be headed over to the Patriots,
which is
who are
crazy
having
because they
their
play
drama.
two different
Uh,
skill sets. So I mean, we'll see how that works out if they indeed end up.
Right. I mean, yeah, AJ Brown is your big X receiver.
Yeah,
Sideline could like go over the top of people. Makai Lemon, we mentioned this last week's episode in the pre-draft episodes.
yeah,
Uh More movement, more Puka Nakua, more cross, more drag, more get him in space
yeah,
and let him go. Where AJ Brown is like, I'm just gonna catch the ball over you and score a touchdown.
yeah.
But with the rumors of AJ Brown leaving, that would have only left, Devontae Smith and also, Dallas Goddard sounds wrong. Is there a new? No, Dallas Goddard is the new
No,
one.
it's
Zach
got it.
Ertz was
He's
the
the
old
yeah.
tight end. Yeah. All right, and then Grant Calcara. I think there's another tight end coming up. But that would only only had a few wide receivers or passing options for Jalen Hurts. Now you get Makai Lemon, who maybe is going to get a little more open than just running up the sideline.
Hopefully,
All right. Also, there was the whole thing where the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the phone with Makai Lemon, thinking they were going to take him 21, but then the Cowboys traded back from 20 to 23, and the Eagles up from 23 to 20. And then the Eagles were trying to call Makai Lemon to tell him that they were going to draft him, but he was on the phone with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL draft green room.
yeah. And
They're
then
in freaking Pittsburgh.
yeah, and if you don't understand why that's such a big deal, is because if your team's on the clock, you shouldn't be talking to any of the prospects because you know what I mean. Like,
Because the team that's on the
yeah,
clock that needs to discuss whether
yeah,
you want to, come over to their
yeah.
team and
When
let
it's
them
your
know. Yeah.
time, yeah. So, um, the reports are that Pittsburgh will probably be punished for it. So
Oh
we'll see.
wow.
We'll see what
Whoa.
happens.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately after the Steelers, excuse me, the Steelers pivoted. Instead of taking wide receiver Makai Lemon, when the Eagles took him, they took Max Ihenachor, right tackle from Arizona State. The only problem is the Steelers have a right tackle, and his name is Troy Faltanu, and he was taken in the first round recently. So what is up? They also have Broderick Jones at left tackle. Looks like in November, Broderick Jones was put on injured reserve due to a neck injury. So there's possibly some, leftover worry from that. Maybe he'll be injured again and they need somebody to put out there. But uh, I'm just worried about how this is going to affect Troy Faltanu, if he's going to have to slide over to the left, or if Hannashore is going to go to the left, or if Broderick Jones recovery, how that's going to go. But something to keep an eye on there in Pittsburgh after they had to pivot. 22, the Chargers. What a great team. They take a edge rusher out of Miami, Akeem Mesidor, 25-year-old from Canada. And also, like we mentioned earlier, was kind of Ruben Bain, who was,
He was
15th.
Ruben Baines Robin.
Right. So that's where I'm thinking over here. Uh, if we needed Akeem Mesidor to be the first or second, edge option, that isn't super crazy because he is a 25-year-old, where usually, you get 22, 23 years old. But with the COVID extensions that happened over the last, 4, 5, 6 years, I feel like we have these classes with some of these older guys. But I feel like because they've played for so long and their bodies are, bigger as a 25-year-old, you have less of a runway that you need to get them started. Like the expectation is that the expectation is that this guy is going to play a lot sooner than if it was like Tuli Tuipulotu took 3 years to become the unquestioned starter. There was that first year with Bud Dupree in the second year, which was ridiculous. But it took him 3 years to become that starter. Akeem Mesidor, they expect, him to be rotating in at edge number 3 behind Tuipulotu and Khalil Mack in the first year. Like he's gonna hop in and immediately start getting to work. Mesidor, who is one of the oldest first round picks of the past 20 years, has a pro ready first step and pass rush arsenal. That according to Ben Solak from ESPN. So I thought it was cool. I was like, I don't necessarily want like a young player that you have to develop if you can already take an older player. If I think about this out towards second contracts, he get a second contract when he's 29 and then maybe a third contract or like a one up when he's 32, 33. So that for the next 8 years, Tuli has his pass rushing mate. This is the guy who's going to be on the other side, is the expectation, and not in 2028 or 2029. They're expecting 2026 this guy to get on the field. Did you see this guy being picked, or did you see him, in the Miami game, or have you heard of him before? Because I wasn't expecting pass rush at 22. Everyone was expecting, O line, but O line had been gone, been
Yeah, I
run
mean,
going. But have you heard Akeem Mesidor before?
yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he did have like a fifth round grade on him, so um,
No. Third, third edge rusher ranking, 18th overall player
so
ranking.
the Chargers overreached for sure. I mean, they could have got him in
This guy.
the sixth round, but no,
uh,
he's pretty good. He's a bigger body. He's I guess more your prototypical size wise for a defensive end because a lot of the complaints about Ruben Bain were because he has shorter arms. Uh, but the one thing he doesn't have is Ruben Bain's motor, so he definitely will have to play across from somebody who's going to be like all go all the time. Not to say that Akeem Mesidor isn't motivated to play. He just, it works out better that way. But he gets to go somewhere where he learns from one of the best defensive ends that's played the game before. So Khalil Mack,
he
he kind of has the same skill set as Khalil Mack as far as being able to stop the run. So he's a really good end because a lot of the times people think of ends as just
mm,
edge rushers and getting to the quarterback, but he can
stop the
set the
run.
edge. Yeah, he can
Yeah,
set the
set the
edge
edge,
and
please.
stop the run. So he'll be good playing across from
Uh,
Tuipulotu and just learning from
I
Khalil Mack.
I love that. And also, like, oh, you hit on it right there. A learner, right? This guy talked about how he built up his pass rush arsenal, and he said he'll if it works, he'll steal anybody's shit. Like guys that he played with. He even said Ruben Baines, who was younger than him, when he came in, he realized some stuff worked, and he's taking Ruben Baines stuff. He's realizing a defensive tackle is has a certain way that works in like a stunt, and he's taking the defensive tackle stuff. So now that he's going to be in the room with Tuli and Khalil Mack, I expect him to pick their brain. And there was already a video the Chargers put out of Mesidor and Khalil Mack meeting, and these dudes are already dapping up, hugging, ready to go, sounding super excited to play together. And a thing that Mesidor mentioned, he's like, I am ready to learn. I'm ready. Whatever you say, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna process it. So yeah, and I feel like, but he's not gonna need to take so much. He's already kind of ready to hop in there and show what he has. All right, last two. At 28, Caleb Lomu, the Utah tackle, gets taken by the Patriots, who moved up a couple picks to get him. And then,
I
yeah,
just I just I just seen the video of him dancing. So
they mentioned that. I don't. Well,
it's
the one that I saw was also put like some Britney Spears music on it instead of like the NFL draft like stuff.
no, for
Do you
sure.
think that? Oh, and Spencer Fano in the Cleveland Browns interview when he got to Cleveland, they asked him about that. They were like, "Hey, Caleb Lomu, you seen that dance he did?" And Spencer's like, "Oh, yeah, I feel bad for him. That video is gonna follow him around forever." Like, God forbid he has a bad game because they're just gonna put that GIF up of him dancing around like that. Uh,
Oh
I
man.
I saw that and had some questions, right? Because it was like not like that he's gay or anything. I was
No,
just like, when I see someone dancing goofy like that, especially when you're talking about football and it's so like manly and you can't be like feminine at all, but you do like a freaking hands up hip rounding thing like that. People are, hey, they're gonna, and that's why it blew up. People are like, oh, this guy's not serious. I
look,
think he's just confident and like I can be
he was
goofy
having
because I
fun.
know I can smash over people. Like
He
I,
just got he got
yeah, bro, get off of this. This
no,
is
don't mention that dance and say smash in the same sense. But
he was just,
but but no, yeah, I think he just wanted to have fun. I think he was just having fun. I think the
oh,
it's been blown up too much. Uh And then, I think he's gonna go into New England and he's gonna be the other bookend to um what is the tackle that got drafted? What was his name?
Will
Will
Campbell. Yeah, Will Campbell's going
yeah,
to be to the left. Caleb Lomu on the
yeah.
right.
I think with
Nice,
the
nice,
healthy
nice. I
Will
like that.
Campbell, I think him and
Uh,
they'll be a really great team out that way. So minus the dancing.
Matt Miller, ESPN, minus the dancing. Don't do that dancing anymore. Matt Miller from ESPN, a redshirt season might be in his future, but he could be the team's long-term play at right tackle. Shout out to Caleb Lomu.
I think he's gonna get on the field,
All
even if
right,
it's on the inside.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him out there.
Yeah.
Fifth best tackle ranking, 28th overall player ranking. He goes 28th. All right, let's go to the first pick of the second round. The 49ers took wide receiver Deshaun Stribling, who has Hawaii ties. The first player taken with ties to Hawaii, according to Hawaii News Now. It's like, hey, what about Makai yesterday? They're like, no. Wide receivers. Oh, also, the 49ers had the 27th overall pick. They trade two times on Thursday night, right? They trade 27, go back three spots to 30, and they turn a fourth rounder into a third rounder. They get a third rounder for a fourth rounder, so they get, and then they moved 30 to 33 and got an extra fifth rounder, which is, those are day three picks, day two picks, whatever. But I feel like you need a bunch of those to like bring in fresh people. Dejon Stribling, uh, wide receiver
Yep.
from Ole Miss.
Yep.
Any
I
good?
I know
Yeah,
nothing about him.
I don't know. 6'2", 207. Let me just get this. The 49ers moved out of round one and took calls all day about trading on the spot. So much high end talent on the board, they stuck and picked here to address the wide receiver position. Despite adding Mike Evans and having former first rounder Ricky Pearsall on the roster, the 49ers lack a deep threat. That's who Stribling is. 4.36 speed at 6'2", 207. This is a surprise with Denzel Boston and Jeremy Bernard on the board, but the scheme fit and need are legit to start round two. I mean, I like that the Niners traded back and they got someone with Polynesian tattoos who is a burner. Let's see it. Let's see how that works out. All right, that's most of it. Do you want to give your favorite Raiders pick, or do
Oh,
you want to save it for the
all
TikTok?
of them. We can save it for that, but I will say that they had several picks that were really good picks. Not too many people knew about Traydon Stukes, but he's a really great safety. They ended up taking his running mate in the same backfield from Arizona. So I know a lot of people don't think about it, but the
Mm,
chemistry between those two and for them to come into the Raiders, already being able to play with each other like that is I think it's gonna be big for them to come in and just be able to pick up where they left off in college. Um, but if I had to think, I think my favorite pick in the this year draft would be the the fourth round pick, Jamad McCoy.
oh yeah. There he's like he was expected to go like first round, right? Until an injury recently.
Yeah, so I mean Dalton Johnson went right after him, which is well two picks after him, but Dalton Johnson is the safety I was talking about that played with Traydon Stukes at Arizona. But Jamad McCoy, the sad part of his story is he didn't play last year because did he tear his ACL? He tore something.
ACL in January
Yeah,
2025, causing him to
so he
miss the
didn't
entire
play.
season.
And then now they think there's a complication with one of the equipment that they put in there to help with it. So they
Oh
might have to go
no.
back in
Okay.
and redo the surgery. But what they're saying is that the injury might be degenerative. So it might just be getting worse. So they don't know how long he has to play or if he can ever come back and play in the league. But they said even if he comes back to play in the league, there's a chance that he won't play long. Like
Mm, that
so
doesn't sound good.
yeah, but the Raiders did their due diligence as that's what they were saying they reported.
Okay.
But also to have somebody with first round talent and take him in the fourth, it's not a big if they took him in the first, then you're worried because it's
Yeah.
like that's a lot of risk to be taking with a guy in the
Hmm.
first that might not play. But there's no guaranteed money. You take him in the fourth. If he pans out, you're a genius. If he doesn't, then you're a saint for taking a flyer on somebody
Yeah. Yeah.
who might not have, you
Good
know,
move.
yeah, exactly. So you win either way. You get a really great player, probably one of the better players in the draft if he is able to play. And if he doesn't play, you did a really solid for somebody who, that was his dream the whole time. So you draft him and he still gets paid for next season at least. So yeah, that's probably my favorite pick out of the Raiders draft.
Nice. All right, yeah. I thought the Chargers they went in with only 5 picks and they ended up making 8 by trading back on,
Yeah.
their second round pick, by trading back I think the third round pick out of the third round. Um Took edge, 4 offensive linemen, and then a safety and a D tackle and a wide receiver. The
Nice.
wide receiver, and this is the first time Joe Ortiz has drafted a lineman, this many linemen. I think he's only drafted like 1 or 2 linemen total over the last couple of years, and they were like 6th round, 5th round, 7th round, day 3 kind of picks,
Yeah.
where it wasn't like a huge expectation to have them around. Now this year, half of the picks are offensive linemen because this is really a position of need for the Chargers. Stop messing around. Stop wasting Justin Herbert's career. Protect him. Let the offense go. There also is a change in the offense. Mike McCoy is the new offensive coordinator. His offense is going to be way different than the old guy, Greg Roman. And I think it starts with the Chargers' third pick early in the 4th round. They were able to get Mississippi State wide receiver Brennan Thompson. 5'9", 160, 164. Okay. Not big, right? You can guess though what he's good at.
Cooking.
4.2640.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you think about fast guys that Mike McCoy has used recently. And obviously Tyreek Hill stands out. Someone that is a field tilter, a field stretcher, someone that defenses have to pay attention to. There also is a video the Chargers put out of McDaniel pounding the table for this guy, basically going up to Joe Ortiz and saying, "If you can make this work, I'll take my shirt off. This is the guy that I want to get." So they made it work, and then he didn't take his shirt off. I have serious moral, ethical questions about Mike McDaniel after
Liar.
not seeing the shirt come off.
He's a
Okay.
liar.
You can't say that you're going to do it and then he makes it happen and then you don't do it. Come on, Charger social media. Fix this. Make it happen. So Brennan Thompson, 5'9" receiver, but speedy. 4'2" is 4'2" is almost basically the record. What is the record? 4.21. So
Yeah.
a 20th of a second off of the freaking record. So that'll be my favorite pick right now for the Chargers. All right, this was a long one. Thank you so much for staying on and listening to us. Unlike some people. So yeah, we appreciate you guys for sticking around and hearing our analysis of the most important draft picks in the first 33 of the 2026 NFL draft. We'll definitely be having more time to go over the rest of the draft and finding maybe some steals, some gems, not only for our teams, the Chargers and Raiders, but also for other Pacific Islanders who we didn't get to mention on this episode. And also, can I try something real quick? I just want to.
Sure.
Okay, so this is a game that I wanted to play on the Patreon.
Uh-oh.
Um, and it's a music game, right? And
Sure.
it was which one of them could hear the lyrics and guess the song, but not singing the song, just from the words of the lyrics, right?
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to read you some lyrics real quick and see if you knew what song they were. Okay?
About to expose me.
Nah, right? Nah.
Like, that guy doesn't know music. Go ahead. Let's get it.
Yeah, doesn't know it. All right. A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster.
No scrubs.
Hey, see? There you go. Easy, right? And imagine you were like
That's because
playing
I'm old.
somebody, huh?
It's because I'm old. I know that song,
Okay.
but also a very popular song.
Very popular song, right? I was gonna
Yeah.
go popular songs, and
No,
then
for
you
sure.
just gotta go. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's a little more difficult. It's a rock band, okay?
Uh-huh.
And it was in a movie.
Mm.
This song was in a movie, okay? I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile when you are sleeping, while you're far away and dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure.
Aerosmith.
Yeah. What's the name of the song?
I can't remember, but I know it's a
Uh
Aerosmith song.
nice, nice. I don't want to miss a
I
thing.
don't want to miss a thing.
And that was from the
From
Armageddon.
yes,
Hey, there you go, there you go, there you go. Okay. Last one. It was all dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic, Marley Marl.
Marley Marl.
I'll let my tape rock till my tape pop.
You have people rapping here for no reason.
Start jumping into it. Uh, who's that?
Biggie, Mr.
Biggie
Christopher Wallace.
Schmalls. Ooh.
Biggie
Juicy.
Schmalls.
Yeah, so I wanted to basically get a list of that and then like make them compete against each other. But if they aren't going to do it, maybe we would do. Maybe when we finally hop on
That'd be
TikTok, we
dope.
can force people
You,
to
right.
do this game.
You know what ruins that song for me now?
What song?
Juicy.
Oh,
It's
Diddy being involved at all? You
it's that
know,
he came in with the record. I was like, yo,
dancing in the videos.
try this.
Oh
No,
yeah,
he was like, hey, look, just
no,
hear
no,
me out.
no.
Hear me out.
Yeah, yeah. Is it good? Is it a good idea?
Right.
All right. Shout out to everybody for listening. Shout out to people in the NFL draft. Shout out to the future draftees. Shout out to all the analysts, all the podcasters, all the informationers out there, interviewers. Man, it's been a crazy NFL draft process. But uh NFL season does not sleep. The schedule release is 2 weeks away. So take your little breath here, figure out who your new players are, and then get ready to start planning some trips where you're going to watch your team win on these once the schedule gets released in the middle of May. But yeah, that's it for us tonight, this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Shout out to the Polytickin Network. Make sure you're following the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the Patreon. And yeah, make sure to let us know if you have any comments, questions, complaints, Ballinesian@gmail.com, or also you can DM us at Ballinesian on Instagram and TikTok. But until then, see you guys next time. For Coach Forrest, I'm Lance Faltomo. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Fernando.